up. There it goes. Is it up? Looks like it's trying to load. There it goes. All right. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Blaha here. Just sitting here, going to do a current events and Q&A for you guys on a lovely Saturday. 2 days from my birthday. I turned 49 on Monday. Yeah, good stuff. So birthday's coming up. So we have that coming and really good workout on Friday, but I'm streaming on both Facebook and the tubes. What's going on, Lars? How you doing? So big piece of news, influencer, and I hate that term, Mary Magdalen. It's been in my feed. I saw the stuff up yesterday and waited to do a meme on it till today. Put a thing up on Facebook. And yeah, I'd look into the story a little bit. Well, this woman who's done all this insane amounts of plastic surgery, body modifications, and everything else, and she looked just like a normal woman. She wasn't like really pretty, nor was she unattractive. She was just an average woman before all of that. But she became a fairly well-known influencer for all of her crazy amount of enormous fake boobs, tattoos covering everything, the fake eyes, the giant lips. She just did tons and tons and tons of plastic surgery, body mods, tattooing. So she fell off of a 9-story roof, like while out of town somewhere. And, she had made some cryptic posts the day before, some references to the Truman Show, and changed one of her social media profiles to Mary Magdalene Dies, which would imply, yeah, the fake eyes are crazy. That whole fake eye thing, that's just weird, man. You guys hit the like button, though, by the way, as soon as you get in here, please. But yeah, whole thing really weird. And again, this is a sign of unchecked mental illness. Is the world a better place? Let me put it this way, Lars. It doesn't seem like she was a bad person. It's not like Togi or whatever. And I've been now made aware of Togi through other social media, and I screenshotted some stuff with someone else I followed who called him out. So that Togi guy literally threatens to hit his girlfriend and stuff right there on camera and uploads it. He's a piece of crap, making all that money promoting domestic abuse. But that aside, I might say the world might be better. That guy gone, And it's kind of like the other guy, Pilar. I can't ever get his name right. Called him out. It would not have been a shame if he would have died from his overdose on all those drugs, right? The meth and Adderall when he was doing a cut or whatever. Had to be hospitalized for. Wouldn't that have just been a shame? But this person, I can't tell that she was harming anybody, Lars. She's someone who just clearly was mentally ill and had gone through the extreme body modifications and all that stuff, probably just a very damaged individual, a very damaged individual. It doesn't make her a bad person. It just means she was clearly very damaged. But I mean, if someone's not harming other people, here's the thing I'm going to say. A person who is suffering from mental illness and trauma and damage to that degree isn't a bad person if they're not harming anybody. And I think that's the point we have to make at that and say, is the world a better place for it? Well, not necessarily. A person who is suffering from something, because we don't know what caused her to have that level of trauma, to subject herself to all that. We don't know what happened to her to cause that. Maybe she's a child abuse survivor, and that was her outlet for it. Like, we don't know. But, someone just being that mentally ill and then possibly possibly having jumped and it's possibly leaning in that direction, the world's not necessarily a better place. Someone becoming mentally ill and ending themselves doesn't make the world a better place. Now, if they're hurting people, right? If they're out there doing bad stuff, okay, I can see the argument. But the only person she was hurting was herself. So then do we say the world is a better place for a damaged person causing self-harm? I don't think so. I don't think that the world is a better place for a damaged, traumatized person inflicting self-harm and then, losing their life for it. I just don't agree on that particular point. But I think that's the problem too. We've glorified and, I feel like we've glorified mental illness in many ways. She has ascended the top of Mount Olympus, Rip Bra, right? Right. If she wasn't trying to spread the harmful or misinformation, or harm no foul, right? So are you still following the orc mode training? I mean, orc mode was just a term, Benny. Benny, orc mode was just a marketing term. It was never one specific training style. We were just calling it orc mode just for fun, just to give stuff a unique name. I mean, technically, I'm just doing really hard, almost hit type powerlifting based full body. Really like a power build, not even really power building because I'm not doing super low reps on my. I'm gaining reps. I'm turning some of my lower rep sets with the same weights into respectable reps. Ted, you caught that right. On Friday, I hit a 405 squat for 10 reps, 500 deadlift for 8. Did 8 pull-ups with 70 pounds, overhand grip. I got haters accusing me of blasting gear, man. That's not right, man. That's just straight hate. Y'all know I'm on TRT, guys. That's just hate. That's straight haterade. And in the words of the greatest natural of all time, Michael Hearn, steroids is just a word the lazy use to describe the dedicated. You know, I did that weighing 210. So what is that? 280 pounds for 8. Now they were rest pause. I got 6 reps and then I had to let go for a couple seconds to do the next 2 reps. But we're going to get that up. Coach, I have to do 2 recovery days after each full body session. Should I lower my volume intensity in order to get to 1 recovery day? Yeah, you might need to. So if you're needing that much recovery, you're just doing too much work, intra-session workload. Greatest natural of all time. Michael Hearn is the greatest natural of all time. Even his hairline is natural. Like, look at that. He's got a great head of hair, man. Like, if that doesn't scream natural, I don't know what does, dude. Ever seen anybody who abuses steroids who have that head of hair that Mike has? So, I mean, what further proof do you need of his natural status than that beautiful, luxurious head of hair? Oh, her, yeah, dude, of course he's natural. He looks like a vampire, bro. Well, he's basically Homelander, right? From The Boys. No, dude, he's a paladin. He's a level 20 paladin with a 20 charisma, right? When he smiles, he has that little ching, little spark off of the tooth. He's definitely. I mean, Mike is genetically gifted, all BS aside. Smart training, good genetics, you know. But yeah, Luke. I mean, how could he not be natural? Look at that beautiful head of hair. That man's in his 50s with a full head of hair. How could a guy who's been abusing steroids not be bald at that point? Come on, right? Just saying. He looks bigger than GVA. Luke, I'm totally not being facetious or sarcastic in any way. So, no, dude, that head of hair tells us everything. Right? You're British. Come on, man. You're a Brit. Luke, you're a Brit. You understand sarcastic. He's like behind the neck pressing 315. I don't even understand that, right? Did I really just out sarcasm a Brit? I'm gonna mark that as a PR right there. That's a PR. What do you guys think? We don't see it coming from Americans, especially if I can do it straight face. But I was being serious. No, he's obviously natural. He is the greatest natural of all time. But I am upset, though, that people are accusing me of blasting a bunch of gear for those lifts going up. My bench hasn't moved. Now, if you see my bench go up to 315 for 10, then okay. I am, though, going to adjust my grip a little this week. I'm going to start bringing it in a little. I feel like I get a little better chest since I'm kind of power building. It's the duck eggs. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's duck eggs. Absolutely, bros. We're trucking along on Facebook today. Where are we at for views on Facebook? Facebook is at 656,000 views for the day. Yeah, there's almost no one in the live stream. That's crazy. I don't get that. It's kind of weird. I'm sorry, it just updated. I'm at 742,000 views for today on Facebook. Well, that's coming along. I want all my haters to go there and start posting bad stuff about me. Look, if haters, I'm going to let you guys know, if you post it on Facebook, I won't ban you. You're allowed to go to Facebook and call me whatever you want. You can call me a midget. You can call me a cuckold. You can call me a racist. Whatever, dude. You can call me a homosexual. Just make sure you spam it over and over and over and over and over and over. Like a minimum 100 posts a day. If you guys do that there, my haters, I won't ban you. But you got to spam it or I'm not letting you stay. All right. Are rows and deadlifts in the same workout a bad idea fatigue-wise? I mean, I do it all the time. I do pull-ups and deadlifts in the same workout right now, bro. The ASIC Venture 10 waterproof shoes are holding up pretty well in the snow. Man, running in the snow is a whole nother animal. I mean, I say that because I'm from Texas, but you guys remember I was out running in 95 degrees, barefoot. Like I had one of my clients. He was like, he just goes, "You're a crazy ass white boy." Told me in a video call. What do you mean? He goes, "You're down there. It's summertime in Texas, right?" He's like, "I know how hot it is where you live. Like I've been there. You're running barefoot on the asphalt. How do you not have like first and second degree burns on the bottom of your feet?" I'm just like, man, you get used to it. You don't walk your dogs though out of that time of day out there though. That's actually illegal. So during the heat waves, you can't legally walk a barefoot dog on the concrete here in certain areas, like in the peak of the day in the summer. Right? In case you guys are not aware that you can get shoes for them though. So you can get little shoes to put on your dogs to go walk them out there, but you can't have them on their bare pads out there on that asphalt. When it reaches certain temperatures, it is actually you can get charged with animal abuse. Hey, coach, has your primary focus in lifting shifted over the years towards aesthetics, performance, and general health? I mean, it's a combination of performance, general health, body composition right now. So I'm chasing, even though I'm saying strength, I'm really not, right? Because I'm keeping the reps higher and higher. Like I'm doing my heaviest top sets are like 5 to 10 reps now. But then again, it's heavy weight, right? I mean, if I do 10 reps with 405 on a squat, high bar, it's 405, you know. I threw that into a 1 rep max calculator this morning and it said 540. You can cook an egg on hot Texas asphalt. No, I mean, but seriously, like you can't walk your dogs out there in the heat of the day in the summer here when it reaches a certain temperature. It is actually a criminal offense. But I've been out there. I've run it out on the street, man. It's all good. Like once your feet toughen up. The thing is, man, you just have to not be a pussy. That's the main thing. You know, a lot of dudes will say stuff, and it's just, you know, you just have to sack up and not be a pussy, guys. It's just not a big deal. You know, it's really not. And your body adapts to things over time. Can you address a kid called clavicular? No, maybe. Who's blowing up? He's been taking gear since 14, takes meth and other drugs, and is planning multiple surgeries all for the sake of looking good. Yeah, what an ass clown. What's a good chin up rep range for body weight check? For body weight, like 5 to 10, 5 to 12. You can start doing 12 more or more. You need to add weight. Exactly what I say to people who are afraid to do a TRT shot, right? I mean, I just do TRT. I'm all natural other than my weekly TRT shot, Bobby, but I get it, man. I do my own shot. I do glutes. Glutes for the sleuths. You know, The guy's a clown. He's on video maxing out with 185 times 4 on incline. Same for me, like a week ago. I always heard horror stories about the quads. Yeah, I'd be very, 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 very careful of quads. Yeah, shoulders tend to get swollen. I mean, it'll help you look aesthetic. Like I should really pin my shoulders, honestly. It would be like, man, your delts are looking all good. Every single guy online these days, even the so-called natties, they all pin their delts. Like, and I'm sitting over here, never ever pin my delts. And so then I look smaller because of it. Probably if I pinned my shoulders, all of a sudden everyone would be like, wow, you got really jacked just from pinning my shoulders. 51 is still pretty good. Marco, yeah, do you even live while being taken gear since 14, but he apparently hates training. So takes gear because he wants fast results without needing to train much yet. Lazy. He got a case of the lazyitis. That's what he has. That there lazyitis. Congrats on the 405 by 10 to 500 times 8. Vegan Gains wish it he could do one rep with either. He does. What's he going to do when my reps keep going up? What's he going to do if I catch him on the bench? At 49, I'm about to turn 49 this week. I'm about to be 49. 30 pounds lighter than him. Glutes make the most sense. No, quads, how do I put it? I've messed with quads a little. I wouldn't recommend it. And I generally don't. Get the bench up too. The bench is going slow, man. I'm going to adjust my grip. I'm going to push the dips and see if the dips will bring it up. And I feel like I'm benching a little while. I'm going to bring my grip back in because my best ever was pinkies on the rings, right? And right now I'm index finger on the rings. I am all the way at the limits of meat legal when I bench, right? Ignore those natural veins. That's natural veins. So I'm all the way out like this, whereas I probably need to be in a little bit more. My buddy did his quads and came into to work hobbling around all day. He messed up something. If you can squat 315 for 8, should you be able to squat 405? Maybe, probably. I'd need to do the math. Sounds reasonable. I can't even reach the rings, or I feel like a spread eagle. So all those 315 for 5 you're seeing me do are index on the rings. So my other 3 fingers are completely outside the rings. Imagine these upper body guys at blast gear with bouncing barely close to your bench. But I'm going to get my bench up next. I'm going to adjust the grip, and I'm going to keep pushing the dips. I got the dip PR yesterday. So I'm hoping we're going to start getting bench carryover. I'm hoping we're going to get that. Or carry 550-pound yoke for 40 yards. There we go. I did 225 for 10 on bench. I'm close to about 300. You should be able to hit it now. Forearms looking vascular. Have been doing loads of arm curls. Heard you one of the best moves for forearms. No, the only curls I'm doing as of yesterday is preacher curls. But I'm doing preacher curls with rest pause. I'm going to failure and then rest pausing. Right. I don't have secrets for the vascularity other than I've done a lot of conditioning historically. I'm genetically very, very, very vascular. Like I was really vascular as a novice lifter. Thanks for the confidence. Yeah, you got it. So the only issue you're going to have, you're not used to benching really heavy. But if you can do 225 for 10, like 10 clean reps, there is no way you're not strong enough to bench 300. You might need several weeks to peak up to it because you're not used to handling heavy singles yet, right? I've seen YouTube videos. I've seen people yoke over 1,000 pounds before too. Why don't guys ever post a heavy squat or deadlift, just high arch bounce press? Well, lots of guys do. 2 times your weight on anything strong, man. Right? But I mean, you gotta have a crazy strong upper back and core to yoke walk weights like that, Or you got to have abs of steel, the whole core of steel. I did 225 rate, pause, and failed 300 by like an inch 2 weeks ago. Jason, so if you want coaching or a consultation, I'd be happy to help you with that. I can get you to the 300. If you can bench 225 for 10 right now, I can have you at 300 in less than a month. Guaranteed. Like, guaranteed. Like, not even a problem. It's just a matter of peaking you up. My calves got really big from strongman equipment. Yeah, my calves grow from all that stuff. Like sled work, jumps, any of that stuff make my calves grow. But I mean, I got calves for days, guys. I mean, really. We can't really see them here, can we? I'm peaking as in getting used to ramping up heavy weight. And you can peak really fast. Like, it can be done super fast. Do you think the squat should be paused like the bench in competitions? No. No. It would be too hard to people would fail squats continually. It wouldn't work for obvious reasons. The only way it would work is if we did it as a box squat. And I'm saying this as an experienced coach and a meat judge who's judged meats. I'm just telling you straight up, it won't work. 50% of the squats are going to be failed in competition. If you tried to follow the same rules, because you have no hard stop, right? It's not workable. And then you're talking about setting. It works, parallel works just fine for competition purposes. They just judge depth from the side. It is, Jason, you'll get there, bro. You have the bread, hire this man. There you go. I could probably sort him in one consultation, actually, not even coaching. Just put him into, write him up a little program. Well, here's your 4 weeks to 300 bench. He might even hit higher. Hey, Kevin, if you guys stop posting in the lives, I won't ban you. You can post all that stuff under the video comments. I'm just going to kick you out of the lives. Go post it on Facebook, though. I'll let you post it on Facebook. Do you think the reason bench requires pauses so people don't bounce it off their chest like morons when you're not bouncing? This common sense, Marco, that's obviously why. Because you have no way to determine if they just bounced it off their chest. You can't really bounce a squat off the air. You know, you don't have, the air doesn't bounce back. No, Marcinio, no reasonable person thinks that at all. Again, last meet, I had a 496 squat without sleeves, state record passed, and I missed the lockout on a 619 deadlift. I pulled it off the floor and couldn't lock it. I mean, come on, guys. Pretty much tells you everything. And I got it like an easy 575, and it looked like a warm-up. You know. So no, Marcinio, literally no one thinks that but this one troll who makes 37 new accounts. So we could just ignore that. Yeah, it's not even reasonable. Although here's what's funny. So the 500 deadlift, right? You guys notice on the clips I put up, I leave the sound on. You can hear the steel plates clanking on the ground. How well you think fake plates would fare under that abuse? I think they'd be busting on camera. I've been accused. A hater always says balsa wood, that I paint wood. It's like, yeah, I have plenty of them posted. The squat I wasn't able to get on camera, but the deadlifts are from that meet. They're on the channel. So look, 260 kilos Texas state record, which I set it down gently like an RDL afterwards, and then the 280 kilograms, I went for it and I couldn't lock it. That would have been breaking my own state record. They're up on the channel. I didn't get the squat footage up from that meet though. Wasn't able to get it filmed. But it's in open powerlifting, and I have the award certificate, so it shows that I hit a 496, and then took a knee. It's my second attempt. I didn't try a third. I've never seen you do 510. Do you think you'll hit it? How do I put that? I've done 500 for 11, but I don't think it counts because it wasn't meet legal equipment, right? So when I did the 500 for 11, I was using those red training plates, and they're thicker, so they bend the bar more, right? So just like most guys out there can deadlift 30, 40 more pounds with bumper plates, right? Everyone who trains knows this, right? You can deadlift 30, 40, 50 more pounds with bumper plates than you can with steel plates on most bars, right? Everyone's tried this. You all know this. Same issue. So that 11 doesn't really count because there's more bar width. Whereas in the steel plates, that 8 was an 8 rep max. So silly people talking trash. So let me just link. So someone just asked for the last meet footage, and the people are claiming nonsense. So here we go, easy enough. Here's the 260 kilo state record. You hear them call the state record. You see them do the kit check. All right. And then here's me failing, unable to lock the 280 kilograms, which is 619. All right, so there you go. After squatting 405 for 10, so got to wonder what it would be fresh. I don't know. Hey, what's going on, Connor? Steel and bumper plates really that different, worlds apart, dude. Worlds apart. I can tell you, so you're talking steel, not iron, steel, right? I can tell you I would easily get 50 to 70 pounds out of bumper plates right now. If I were to go take my deadlift bar and load it with bumpers, I could pull 50 to 70 pounds more than I can with steel plates. Yeah, it's a big difference. After squatting, yeah, then you should do deficits. No, just use meet legal equipment. I use steel plates and a meet legal deadlift bar. Thoughts on, let's see, how many reps can you do? I've done 225 for 19 reps on camera last month. I've done 19 reps with 225 after benching heavy. I don't have bumper plates. I don't want to buy bumper plates just to show the difference. It was in a couple days ago. But look at the difference, and look how many guys pull with bumpers and they can't pull it in competition. What's your weight and height? I'm 210 at 5'9". If you have no access, yeah, it wouldn't be bad to do like a 1-inch deficit or so. Ironically, in person, no one believes my height or weight. So because I think people are silly with their stats, like real life friends and other people right now guess me at something like 5'11", 240, 250. But I'm 5'9", 210. Bumpers are larger. No, it's not because they're larger. They're wider. The bar bends. More bar bend cuts the range of motion out of the bottom. So it's the biggest trick for sumo pullers is to use bumpers with a whippy bar and straps. Because normally they wouldn't be able to grip it, particularly when the bar pops at the top from the flop. It'll slip out of their hands. So a lot of times dudes will do that and they can get 80 to 100 pounds out of it. So anytime you see bumpers, straps in a sumo with a whippy bar, it's a trick lift. But that wider width causes the longer lever on the bar, so the bar bends more. So you get the least bend from steel plates, even compared to iron, right? So if you have even like 1.5 inch thick iron plates, they still bend the bar more. Those cast iron plates bend the bar more than steel plates do on any bar that has any bend in it. So the thicker the plate, the easier it is. Yeah, the calibrated plates are the thin. They're only 1 inch thick. So they have the least whip. So that makes it hardest. So steel plates matter. And in competition, you're going to use steel plates. I got the iron plates from my home gym because they're cheap. I like iron plates. Like, honestly, so many times I get people who are like, that's not really 315 on the bar. That's not whatever, because they see the thin plates. I do it all the time. No, I will never train live, and I'm not going to go through my whole spiel again. I will never do a live training. But you see my lifts every single workout. Then I literally vlog every single workout for 6 or 7 years straight. You want to see me bench? Go look Friday. I put up my bench. Go back Wednesday. I benched on a Wednesday. I benched on Monday. The footage is all there. If you go type 225 times 19 into my channel search engine, you'll see me last month doing 225 for 19 reps. It's all up, dude. It's all here. Like, just go to the channel search engine. Every channel has a search engine. Right now, I'm doing fives with 315 on the bench. People always call calibrated plates flake weights online because the plates are thin. It's because they don't know anything about lifting. Yeah. They're basically ignorant. It's Dunning-Kruger. They don't know enough to know that they don't know anything. I just now saw Muhammad on Facebook. I'm doing good. Muhammad, how you doing, bro? Sorry, I missed you. You posted that a few minutes ago. Doing good, man. Imagine how hard to deal. I wouldn't be significantly, because there's going to be already very little. Hey, Connor, I'll let you handle this one. I'm getting tired of hitting the button if you want to handle it. Calibrated plates look sick, in my opinion. I like the look, and I thought they were cool. I get annoyed. Like, honestly, yeah, if you want to go down the road. There you go. Kapow, Connor. I'm going to let you stay on top of it. It's nice to have mods in here. It saves me the trouble. Makes my life easier. Now, the perk, though, is stuff like the reverse hyper. You can technically get more plates on. It's just that I don't want to load and unload all those calibrated plates. But I've thought about that. Yeah, I don't know why they keep coming in here. I've told them on Facebook, I don't ban for anything. Almost nothing. Like I would let these guys post all this on Facebook. I don't know why they're doing it in here. They could just go post it under my pictures. So here's the rule, guys. If you're a hater and you want to trash talk, post it under my pictures on Facebook. I'll allow it. I'll allow you to call me a cuckold or whatever you want to call me, dude. But you have to spam it. That's the rule. Right? Yep. But it's got to be under pictures. If you do it in places other than pictures, I may still ban you. You got to do it under the pictures, especially the memes. Or more importantly, any of my training related pictures. Yeah, so there you go. So if you guys want to call me a fat cuckold, do it under any pictures of my working out. And I'll allow it. Glad to hear you're good, Muhammad. So I'm streaming on both platforms, you guys. I'm on Facebook and YouTube both at the same time right now. Oh. I had a hater in the comments earlier, though, say, how's it feel to be, you got mogged by Jeff Side? And I'm sitting here laughing because I've met Jeff Side and he was half my size. And he knows he was half my size. So that's pretty funny. Oh, man. Dudes be funny. Yeah, the views are coming up in here. Let's get some other topics going. I remember Jeff's side, right? I remember Jeff's side too. Well, he didn't like my response. He didn't want anything to do with me because he said he was going to hit me in the face at the event. All right. He said he was going to hit me in the face. No, Jeff is like 5'9", 165 pounds at the time. I've been about 160 to 170. He was 5'9". So whatever height I am, he's the same height. He claims 6 foot, but he was literally eye to eye with me. He is exactly the same height as me. Less than an inch difference. So whatever you think I am, that is Jeff's height. So if you think I'm 5'3", then he's 5'3". If you think I'm 6'1", then he's 6'1". I remember Athlete Next struggling like crazy with a 405 deadlift. I can't even get my head around that. I mean, I'm over here doing 500 for 8. A few days before my 49th birthday. Man, I'm going to have to update all the little hashtags with the 49 now. We're closing in on 50. Yeah, he got exposed for the fake lifts. Is it okay to pan-sear chicken breast? I mean, yeah. I think it can be acceptable. You know, not everyone is a great cook. How many reps good to go on for power in the squat? Well, if your pursuit is power, then 1 to 3 reps, right? You start getting towards 8 to 10, we're basically just hypertrophy at that point. Well, not saying it won't make you stronger, but power is speed, force production. Hey, Lars, I told you that it has to be under the video comments. I'm sorry, under the pictures. So I'm going to block you in here, and I'm going to force you. I'm going to force you to do it under the pictures, Lars. I don't know what's so difficult for you. If you want to call me a cuck, you have to. So fake Lars on Facebook. You have to do it under the pictures. I'm just going to delete it otherwise. That's the fake Lars. He makes a new account every day on Facebook to come into lives. He uses your same picture. So, you know, you have to do it under the pictures, Lars. So go post it under the pictures, dude. I didn't ban that account. I just banned him from the streams. He can still post under the pictures. How do you get so vascular? Genetics. Yeah, of course, really still. Well, why wouldn't he, dude? I'm his entire life. He has no existence without me. I am pretty much his God. I am his reason for waking up. I'm his Alpha and Omega. Right? Without me, his life would have no purpose or meaning, and he would just die. Right? That number one hater there, if I was gone, he would probably just off himself. He would have no reason to even exist anymore. All right. Athlete X looks perpetually old. The only thing preventing him from looking 70 plus is his hair. Right? Oh, man. Yeah, damn it, Lars. Tell him, man. Can someone get to Steve Reeves' muscularity using just tests? Yeah, I believe Steve Reeves was probably natural, honestly. He's had good genetics. I don't think Steve Reeves was actually on gear. And I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I believe that that's the case. You know, yeah. Old PA Sam. There you go. Outing yourself. Is this a new account? Oh, that's what it is. Okay. Hey, Connor, do you recognize that name that he just dropped in there? The level of disrespect some people are willing to drop online is really fascinating. I love to see. They won't. No, it was a guy faking you, old PA. Yeah, Connor, you saw the name he just mentioned, right? Which is kind of a joke between us. I don't know nothing about that guy. I don't know anything about him at all. Yeah. Connor, yeah, that guy, right. We don't know anything about that guy, do we? Never heard of him. No idea who he is. Shh, don't be saying that. We don't know his address. We don't know who he works for. We don't know any of that stuff. Nobody knows anything. We never heard of him. He doesn't exist. Who? Some stranger in it. Yeah. Nobody knows nothing about him. We don't know his address, his wife's name, her immigration status. Yeah, exactly. Nobody knows anything about him. He's a nobody. He doesn't exist. He's nobody. All right. $12 miles or so. You've been running 12 miles in the snow? That's cray cray. That's cray cray. No, PA, it's just a clone account. They make them. He makes them every day. It's all good, man. It's all good. It's okay, old PA. You could make up for it with a super chat. Lord of mercy. Oh, Lord of mercy. Peppermint was also framed a few different times, yeah. A few times, man. That's how they do. Running in the cold cooks my lungs. Yeah, that's pretty tough. It's definitely tough on your lungs out running in the snow like he's doing. Then again, I mean, I say that, but then I run in the heat that would kill people in cold places. They'd be like, there's no way. I'd be out running in the southeast Texas heat. Coach, in 6 days I have a collagen. You need to be sharp by 6 days is not too much. No, dude, you need more time than that to peak in any way. It's not worth worrying about at this point. With 6 days out, trying to do anything to cut water, it's just there's no point. All right, there's no point, man. Just go in and do your thing. Just be you. You already trained. You're in good shape. You're gonna be better than most people there. You'll be fine. It's all good, man. It's all good, bro. Sit. Y'all seen all my dank memes there on Facebook, right? Y'all been following my dank memes. They melt steel beams. Hold on. Show you guys some examples of some of the memes I'll be making. Some of them are pretty bad, though. Here you go. Dank memes melt steel beams. You guys go through and, hey, hop over to the Facebook, guys, and like all my memes. Right? Benny says, I'm taking anabolic steroids because I want to look intimidating to guys and attract hot women. I'm scared that my schlong might shrink. Should I lower dose? Why would gear shrink your schlong? Has this ever been recorded as a side effect by any doctor or expert anywhere? Oh. You guys imagine somebody confronting me, like a stalker from the internet confronting me? Do y'all have any idea that's basically a lottery ticket? Has anyone thought this through? They do realize that's a lottery ticket for me, right? I'm just going to leave it alone from there. Use some common sense. I will make millions. Exactly. Dude, the NRA will be loving me, all the gun rights, self-defense people. Oh, man. Bro, I'm going to be all over international news. I'm going to make so much money if it ever happens. It's a lottery ticket. Because I have so much compiled, documented police reports. Oh, my God. I will sleep in my own bed that night. I won't even be arrested. And I'm going to be all over the news. How stupid. All right? If I had stalkers, I'd set Leroy on them under. Yeah, but see, I live in the great Republic of Texas. I live in the great Republic of Texas. Here, if you're stalking someone, you have no right to self-defense. So when they smoke you, you can't even defend yourself. Like you get an extra felony for even trying to defend yourself if you live. Because you're in the commission of a crime already. You have no self-defense. I, on the other hand, but yeah, stupidity of it. None of them are ever going to do it. But if they do, I mean, it really is. That's a lottery ticket. It is basically a lottery ticket. Senior advisor of the DHS. What does that even mean? What? Yeah, exactly, Lars. In self-defense. I mean, keep in mind where I live, y'all. I live in literally the most self-defense friendly state in the United States. I mean, it doesn't really get any better. Do you think my plate reflects a healthy, balanced diet? Yeah, I actually do. Right. Yeah, those are both good. There's other places, pretty much half the states in between the two, though, in terms of those laws. But yeah, I do agree. Florida's also a really good state. I love Colorado also. I just don't like the laws. If it hadn't turned blue, I love Colorado actually. In terms of nice place, but I don't like the laws in the Texas. Yeah, Oklahoma's like that also. Yeah. Epic Gyms and the East Coast for Diamond Gym, right? Yep. Cali's nice, but it's overrun with madness, right? Oh, California's beautiful. But again, it's crazy town. Crazy town. California, crazy town. Remember the Death Wish movies with Charles Bronson? Just saw them again. They're good. They were good. It is crazy. It's turned into crazy town, man. I'm telling you, dude. Mm. But so much stuff has gotten crazy. Like the far left has gotten so polarized in their politics, and it's like, and it's so crazy that they don't understand that most people reject their crazy woke stuff. They don't seem to grasp it. That outside of their little centers, everyone thinks half this stuff is insane. Plus, you guys have Branch Warren, one of my favorite, right? Well, Ronnie Coleman is Texan too, Branch Warren, all those guys. Taylor Woolham, the power lifter, he's Texan. You have those all-time deadlift world records. Pulling over 4 times his body weight. Yeah, let's walk over in the 220 and deadlift, 930. Yeah, Ronnie lived in Arlington. Yep. Yeah, he was a police officer there. That's just outside of Dallas, Fort Worth. California's a whole hell full of expats driving up the cost of living by an insane amount. It is like the cost of living is ludicrous there. It's absolutely ludicrous. Don't even get me started on their gun laws. Again, the Supreme Court will eventually strike that down. A long enough Supreme Court Justice Chuan will end up striking all those laws down over there. I think people forget that the U.S. is more pro Second Amendment now than it was when I was a young man. It's actually more overall. The culture is friendlier and more gun freedom. A lot of people don't realize that. They're like, oh, people believe. No, it's gotten more free. We are more pro pew pew now than we were 25 years ago by an enormous margin. Right. Well, even if you think in rural areas here in Texas, outside of the city, Greg, $1 million buys you a massive, massive property. Would you say benching 3 times a week is good if you manage fatigue and volume well? I do it 3, but I do full body 3 days a week. I bench 3 days a week. But most guys 2 is a good place to work with. Depends on what you're trying to do with your training. Right? Depends on what you're trying to do. I'm gonna end the Facebook. I'm gonna run the YouTube a little longer. I'm gonna end the Facebook. I'm gonna do a bicep shot for them though. Oh, Mount Bicephus. And we're out of here, Facebook people. That's all y'all get for the day. Since it's kind of slow. You say benching or whatever. Noted. Connor says, any classic gyms you'd recommend in Texas? I can't think of any, man. Stuff changes all the time. Ownerships change, gyms change. I mean, Houston area, there's a lot of serious gyms. They've got the Metroplex up there, though, where Ronnie trained. All right, up in that area. But Dallas Fort Worth is not really a nice place to visit. You know what I mean? So unless you're going there for a reason, it's not like that great of a tourist destination. It's probably got the most ghettos of any of the major cities, really. And it's got like a little rich cowboy rich culture there, but that's kind of isolated. Um, I don't know. Every city in Texas is a completely different feel. So that's the thing that would throw you off, Connor, being British. When you get to the different cities in Texas, it's like going from Dublin to London to Cardiff. Like you're gonna be like, wow, these cities are nothing alike. You know what I mean? So the cities have a completely different feel. Um, Depends on what you're looking for. Like San Antonio, if you're really looking for the historic type attractions, our version of history, the river walk, all that stuff. Yeah, yeah. Texas itself is twice the size of the UK. So every city has a completely different feel and look, right? And Houston is just massive. And when I say that, I need you to understand Houston is massive. To get from one end of Houston to the other, in rush hour could take you 2.5 hours in your car. That's why we have toll roads and HOV lanes, and um, so it's just sprawling, and it is just massive. Is the best way to put it. Yeah, right. Well, you got to learn how to drive on the correct side of the road. You know. Oh man. You know. No, we don't have subways. We don't have a real public transportation in Texas. That's something we do not have actually. I mean, we've got the rail system inside Houston, but it doesn't really go outside of the center. Like nowhere where I've lived, right? And you definitely don't want to use the buses here unless you have to. You got our whole metro system. Yeah, but fuel is cheaper here. Yeah, so renting a car is not too bad as long as you don't get in wrecks. Just be aware though, dude. Um, I always tell people new to Texas, the highways you can't, because of the nature of our situation with the flow of drugs and cartels and illegal immigration. Katy Freeway 26 lanes, right, Greg? Right. Katie's one of the outskirts, one of the sections, kind of a suburb of Houston. Katy Freeway. Um, DPS is always on high alert looking for drug runners and human traffickers. And so they pretty much run the highways here with an iron hand. So you don't mess around like out on the highway. Be careful of speeding. Yeah, dude, if you're speeding, they're not only going to stop you, it could be all sorts of stuff. They'll look for any probable cause out there on the highway to search your car. Even though there's constitutional rights, they're on out there. When you get out on the highways between the cities, again, DPS, which is our highway patrol, they don't play around. So because of that, like littering, dude, you get caught throwing something out your window, man, dude, they're going to end up searching your car. Yeah, they smell weed. Yep. And DPS, they got the good cars. They're all super heavily armed. They're better trained, better armed. They have all those interceptors. Right? Like you don't mess around on the highways in Texas at all. Yeah, exactly, Jason. They smell weed on you, man. They smell alcohol on you. And can prove it. Yeah, no, DPS doesn't play, and they confiscate the cars here. So DPS gets a lot of their funding from the vehicle confiscations and property confiscations. I mean, as long as you're not breaking any laws, yeah, don't be an idiot on the highways in Texas, like just straight up. Yeah. You can't play with them. But we have a pretty high speed limit, and we have, as they're noting, a lot of 4-lane wide highways. All right. You got plenty of lanes, you got plenty of room, passing room, plenty of small towns all the way to go through. Watch those speed traps in the small towns. Yeah. A lot of stuff you can get away with in Texas. Playing around on the highway is not. Yeah. It's just really not. Yeah, and Texas Highway Patrol doesn't play around at all, and it's because they can't. Because, um, they get murdered by drug traffickers. They have to deal with the cartels, so they're pretty much an elite police force. Better trained, better armed, better cars. Yeah, well, it's illegal immigration, and it's not just it's the flow of drugs and slaves coming across the border. Like slavery is a big problem down here due to the open border. So anytime someone is against who doesn't want to stop the restriction, doesn't want to restrict illegal immigration into the U.S., you're pro-slavery. So when someone tells me, well, I think you wanting the border shut down is racist, and I'm like, well, you thinking that we should have brown slaves is racist. I think that's more racist. Because if you're for an open border, you're for human trafficking. Right? It's very straightforward. So yeah, it happens a lot. A lot of people do want to hire them as cheap labor, but I mean, it's the issue is, I guess, people in other states who see that they don't understand that we have a lot of human slavery. And when I say slavery, I'm not talking about slave workers. Step back and think about that means 10-year-old little girls is what it means. So I just assume that if you don't want the border shut, that you want to own a little girl. Like that's the only logical explanation. Me being from Texas and seeing this stuff, I just assumed you want a sex slave. Why would you want an open border? So you either want cocaine, heroin, or you want to own a sex slave, an underage one who doesn't speak English. Why else would you want the border open? I can't think of any other reason. So I just assume you're a really bad person. I just assume you're into one of those things. Another day, another life. Exactly, Matt. And there's a lot of that, dude. Like, dudes seem to have no clue. But yeah, I mean, enormous number of prostitutes and sex slaves are shipped in. across that border. I mean, and it's a big trade, unfortunately. Um, in addition to all the drugs. Yeah, that's a safe assumption. A lot of people on the far left have weird preferences. That's why I just assume. So when someone tells me that they believe in that, I just assume, okay, so are you into Coke or are you into children? Like which one? Because you don't need more cheap labor. We already have like 15 million illegals already here. There are tons of unemployed Americans who can work, stop the benefits, and offer the minimum. Right, there you go. So, but there's your other solution, Marcinio. You stop the flow of drugs. So let's talk about how do we fix stuff with the economy, unemployment, all this other stuff, right? So what happens if we actually stop the flow of drugs? I mean, I'll go so far as to say what would happen in the US economically if we implemented draconian measures on alcohol and just the flow of drugs. All the wealth, the need for the welfare would be mostly gone because everyone wouldn't be addicted. They wouldn't be debilitatedly alcoholic. They wouldn't be unemployable drug addicts. They wouldn't need to be all these criminals. We now have a labor force. Get all these people off drugs and off booze. There's your labor force. Crime goes down, work goes up. Less people need welfare. I mean, you remove addiction, you remove drug and alcohol addiction, what happens to our welfare rate? I mean, what causes so many people to need to be on welfare? Addiction. You know? So just throwing that out there, guys. You need less law enforcement, less jails, less welfare. Now more people are ready to work. Do you really need this cheap labor if you just get everybody off the drugs and alcohol who's on welfare? Coach, what do you think about doing legs, then push, then pull, and push, pull legs? I mean, good work. Okay, he says, nice cold Saturday. Okay, let's go to your channel. Let's see if you knew. Come on, bro. I'm just, you know, some of that, so again, just think these things through. So the thing is, your solutions are multifold, but some of that comes by shutting the border down. You shut down the border, man, you reduce the flow of heroin, cocaine, crack, all these other drugs, right? Reduce the flow of drugs. That frees us. If the only problem is a lot of those addicts then go to alcohol. And that's the other problem we have. They go from one addiction to another. They go to the legal one. But I think if we can get a generation that's more anti-alcohol, prohibition would be more doable, right? I think if more of us out here push the idea of popularizing sobriety, if you get a large enough group of people who are opposed to alcohol, it could get pushed through. Why do you think? I mean, we could talk about trauma and other stuff, but you don't get addicted without the addictive substances available. And this is the point I make to people. They say, well, it's only a result of trauma. And it's like, no. You still can't get addicted if you don't have access to the addictive substances. You might get addicted to non-addictive things. You know what I mean? And the more work generally decreases the cost of living, so unemployed feel more at ease to take the minimum wage position, right? I mean, you get addicted by trying addictive substances. I always tell people, you can't become an alcoholic if you never have the first drink. And think that one through for a moment. So let's set aside trauma. Let's set aside genetic predisposition, because I have a genetic predisposition towards alcoholism. Right? If you never try the first drink, you can't become an alcoholic. Show me a flaw in my logic there. Any flaw in my logic? No matter what you're predisposed to, what trauma, it is impossible to become an alcoholic if you don't have the first drink. They get hooked on substances. But Alan, so would you rather them be hooked on non-dangerous things though? So addicted personalities, they might get addicted to the gym. They might get addicted to porn, I guess. That's a problem. You know what I mean? All right. But if you never take the addictive substances to begin with, you can't get addicted. So if you never do heroin, coke, you never have the first drink, you can't get addicted. Diesel Viber, I'm aware. I mean, I saw the worst cases of it. So I lived in Farmington, New Mexico, part of my high school. When I was 17, we came back. My dad's work transferred him back. So we were near the reservation. And a lot of people may not be aware of this, but because Native Americans did not have access to alcohol like we did, they have no genetic resistance to it. They become alcoholics far worse and far easier. Right? They're predisposed to alcoholism at such a horrific rate compared to other people. Right? It's a nightmare for them. Like alcohol is absolutely devastating to those indigenous populations. And I saw it because we lived in a dry county. And so on Sundays, you couldn't buy alcohol. And we were right by the reservation, and there was a lot of Navajos in the town. And on Sunday, so it's just horrible. Dude, it's heartbreaking. It's honestly heartbreaking. They would be in buying all the Listerine and mouthwash and Scope and everything. They would be walking into the Walmart and the drugstores buying all the mouthwash, and they'd be drinking it in the parking lot, like dozens of them. Gen Z are drinking less. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, though, sure, the alcoholic will do those, but then they're easier to help. Yeah, having a serious problem with some reservations. I didn't know about that, but I definitely knew with the alcohol and the Listerine. And it's problematic. But they'd be out there drinking. I've seen it, man. I mean, whole Navajo families would be there with several bottles of Listerine and drinking it right there in the parking lot on the Sunday. And it's really sad. Like it's, when you see that, like that is, yeah. There you go. Get him, Peppermint. I got him too, actually. Oh, I have an addictive personality. Never tried or had easy access to drugs, but dealt with an eating disorder instead. Right. Right. Yeah. Removing the problematic stuff. There's the solution. All right, guys. This is running pretty long. I'm gonna go ahead and wind this down and get back to my other stuff. But give you guys a bicep shot before we go. Oh, Mount Bicephalus. And we're out.